right here, you can see the block of where it's poured. You can see where the holes are, but it's almost in the square. Now, this is slave labor. This is the Episcopal Church. This will be the church. They didn't allow us to worship with this building. No, they did not allow us to worship with it. This would also be where Edgar Fripp, who was the descendant of John, that's his vault. And if you notice this Ethiopian structure, that's slave labor.
You see all that Egyptian in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go over there and see Edgar? Edgar, he jump out, you know.
Ironworks is a craft that comes from Africa. We have
and they love the fact that they love the structures that
they love it because that's why they brought us here. You know, and that's what we try to stress. If you look at the ironworks here, this was done by the same family that did the ironworks in Queenhead. Sharon, both of us can't cover.
I'm sorry. Look.
Done by the same family that did the ironworks in Charleston. And his great-great-great-grandson is still doing ironworks in Charleston. Has a gallery over there, makes beds and, oh, I always forget that young man's name. But African Gallery is the name of it. He still makes the ironworks. Handed down, the craft is handed down. You look at some of those houses that are on the Battery in Charleston with this ironworks. Same family. It's interesting how these crafts have been handed down. If you're looking at the grave sites, you'll still see some of the same slave-holding families in this area. Just a few of them. Now, what's significant about this region? 1861, November the 8th, you hear horses coming down this road here. And they get out, the militia, one guy gets out and he goes into the church and he says they're landing in Port Royal. At that time, those slaveholders got out of this church and out of Brick's congregation and went to the Fripp Plantation House and sat on that porch and watched that battle. It's only 3 hours and it was over. The significance of it was that the Union Army came here early on and occupied this region. From that point on, even though we were considered contraband of war for a few months, we got our freedom prior to anybody else getting their freedom during the Civil War. 1861, 62, that's when Penn's existence came about. So you're talking about that period, over 9,000 people. Within just a few months, there was 11,000 free people on this island. And the isolation caused them to be able to maintain what we call Gullah today because of that isolation. The fact that even though the abolitionists came in and Penn's experience taught them to speak English, you still had all those people on the outlining area who never got to come to Penn, that the tradition of Africanism was continuing on. So that's why you still hear the tongue of Gullah-speaking people. It's so similar to what you hear in West Indies and even some of the tongues here. About 5 years ago, there is a film called Families Across the Sea, where a group of blacks from these sea islands, John's Island, the book that you got, and here Penn, went to Sierra Leone. And when they got there, they saw people looking and speaking just like we do, speaking Creole, K-R-I-O, and Gullah, which are so similar. We know that Gullah is a language. It has everything that it takes to be a language. The way it places its pronouns, the syntax, all of that is in place that makes it a language. And this whole region is what you're going to see is Gullah-speaking people.
That's why
unlike any other area in the United States. The experience here is totally different because everything is still in place for the family structure is still structured like an African family structure today. So
extended family.
The extended family. We're going to drive around and we're going to show you how houses are so close to each other. You're going to find a grandmother, uncle, great uncle,
let's do it,
cousin.
Does Gullah have a meaning or is it just?
Well, I explained what Gullah was.
Right.
It is a people. It is also a language. Okay. It is a language that has been blended with African languages and English. That's what it is. But in forming it, it created its own syntax and placement of its pronouns and its noun to make it a language. Everything that it takes to make a language, and there's 4 things to make a language.
We don't say street, we say street. Street, that's street like that.